Well, hello.
Hi there.
How are you, my friend?
I am doing well.
Well, good, good,
In
good.
spite of the time change.
I know, right? I was fine the first day, but I have just been so sleepy. Is that what you're experiencing?
I'm not sleepy as much as I am off. I'm just a bit off
Right,
because
right,
I'm
right,
thinking like right now my body is like, oh, it's a whole hour later, like it's 9 o'clock. It's time to be preparing for bed.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, we'll adjust. I'm sure. We're
Oh
in the
yeah.
land of the living, so we're still good. We're still good.
Yeah, woo woo.
No, right?
Yeah,
So it's Women's History Month. And
indeed.
that works for us because we're all about women every day, all day. So this is a good way, a good time of the year for us because we can celebrate that. And we can celebrate the vital role women play in history. So we're gonna try and set the mood here at Earrings Off by starting with some quotes. And now remember, Fireside is an interactive platform. We invite you when Teresa and I are going to go back and forth answering some questions, but if you want to jump in on the conversation and share your thoughts about different women in your lives, we certainly ask that you do that. So, heading off, this is a quote by former First Lady Michelle Obama. There's no limit to what we as women can accomplish.
Mm.
Hmm.
So do you buy into that one or what do you feel about that
Yeah,
quote?
I like it. I,
I
I
like
love
it
it.
too. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
it.
yeah. I
I
like it. Yeah, yeah. So it's so inspiring, you
It is.
know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw something in the news. I saw something on the feed where this teacher was saying that she got an email from a parent and she had some trepidation about opening it because she thought it was going to be something about her teaching or some complaint, something she'd done. And she said when she opened it up, she I think there was a message. The parent said that she took her daughter and some friends who were in this teacher's class to the movies, and the girls were talking about how this teacher inspired them, made them feel good about themselves, and just encouraged them. And she said that just made her weak. So, yeah,
Oh.
I
Yeah.
love it when we remind girls and women that you can accomplish what you want to do
That's
without
that's
limits. So,
that is
yeah.
right.
Hmm.
Okay, each time a woman stands up for herself, possibly without claiming she stands for all women. Maya Angelou.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good one too. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Because it's not just about you when you take a stand or when you a pioneer and try to blaze some trails.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, you're making it easier for the next folks and making it possible for the next group of people. So, yeah, I like that. I love this next one by late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. My mother told me to be a lady, and for her, that meant to be your own person, be independent. Yeah, yeah. Because,
Nice.
yeah, many times we've been told being a lady is to be quiet and to demur to the men and not have an opinion. But, yeah, I like,
Yeah,
I like
I
that
like it.
quote. Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
this next one comes from a young lady. I raise my voice not so I can shout, but so that those without a voice can be heard. We cannot succeed when half of us are held back. Malala Yousafzai.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
All right, so this next segment, Lou, we're going to get into that those questions you said you were talking about earlier about them being possibly being interactive. So if anybody wants to join in and share something, then please do. We encourage it because,
Yeah,
it is an interactive platform.
yeah.
I'm going to start by asking you, Lou, to name one woman you are grateful is in or was in your life.
Okay. Well, and these questions, of course, come from longwalks.com. So we want, if you're interested in seeing them, please go to their site. But of course, you have to start with your mom. I don't care what happens. So want to give deference to her, acknowledge her for all of her wonderful things, my mom. But when this is a hard one when you talk about naming a woman that you're grateful for, that's been in your life or was in your life. But I've had so many amazing women pour into me and role model for me. But the two that readily come to mind, and I think about, for me, the workplace and the career, and I learned a lot about my management style from two tough female directors. One was Muriel Felder, my former director of social work. And I met her on my first job, fresh out of graduate school. And she hired me to be the chief social worker. And I led a large team of social workers. And I was actually the youngest one on the team. And the other is Edna Keys Chavis, who was the city clerk for the city of Richmond, and Edna hired me as a deputy. And I guess what I'm grateful for them from them was that they were both of them were the first women of color to hold their respective positions, and
Nice.
they each had very high standards. They were very good at their jobs, and they were the kinds of managers who could hold their own in high level meetings, but they could jump right in and do any job that was required, any task that was required in their area. And they were very, very smart women, and they were the kind of woman that would let you know they were rooting for you. But they didn't let me off the hook when I screwed up. I'd get called into the office and we'd have a conversation, but they were kind enough to walk me through the steps so that I understood, okay, this is where the misstep was made. And so you learn from that, and it was a safe environment. Both of them were safe environments for them to learn and for me to learn. And I can share a story about Edna, because Edna actually survived a very abusive marriage. She left with just the clothes on her back and her daughter. And
Wow.
I can share this because she shared this publicly when she was awarded some honor. And she started at the bottom and rose up through the ranks. So through Edna, particularly, I learned about how you can persevere and you can overcome. And so those were just two women that I was just blessed to know and be mentored by. So, what about you? Who are you grateful for having in your
You
life,
know,
or that you've had in your life?
so a lot simpler than that. I mean, those were amazing.
Well,
those
it's an
were
hour
amazing.
show, Teresa. It's an hour. I'm just saying. Okay.
But I said, of course, my mom, and
Yeah.
yeah, I have had some women to come into my life in my recently in my career, but early on, it's always been all men. So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
of the field that I'm in or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was my mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Well,
it, and
that's
for
just
all the obvious reasons,
yeah. Yeah.
just her grace and her support, no matter what.
Yeah.
And so it was just that one little simple. I I know that it's an hour show, and I have more to say on some of the others.
Okay, let's hope you do, folks. Let's hope so, folks, because I want you to just witness firsthand what I'm dealing with. We have an hour show, and Teresa's answer to the
Is
first
Baba.
question was maybe a minute, but here we go.
Not even a
We
minute.
no, not even a minute, but don't worry about it, folks. We're moving right ahead. Okay, all right. So Teresa, we're gonna start this next one with you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Name. You got something on that?
A little bit, just
Okay.
a little.
Okay, all right, here we go. Lord help us.
Okay.
Name one woman whose style you like. It can be her fashion style or something about the way she carries herself.
So
Was that your mom too?
no, no, I didn't. I could have used her for all of them, but yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't do that. No, it wasn't. I'm talking about so there isn't just one person because the style that I like is more classic,
Yeah.
you know, timeless classic,
Yeah.
right? So I see it in many women
Okay.
sometimes depending on the circumstance and the situation. Like Carrie Washington, um
Okay.
even some of Michelle Obama, not all because she's pretty trendy, you
Yeah.
know, but she has some she I have seen her in some like the piece of her at the White House right now that photographer
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that artist painted rendered of her. That style is classic. But I'm basically the style that I have is basically neutral, black, and simple. So
Okay.
it's hard to think of just one person who has the same kind of style, but I see it in many women that
Yeah.
are like many movie stars, and like on the red carpet you see some of the women who wear the traditional
Yeah.
um style. But I don't have just one woman. But I
Okay.
see it quite often in Kerry Washington.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, it can be a fashion style or just something about the way she carries herself, you know?
Oh, I
So
missed
what
that part. So
I
thanks for pointing it out.
that's why I did, but help us, Lord. But anyway,
But I can still say that about Kerry
yeah,
Washington too.
yeah, oh, yeah,
So she
yeah, yeah,
carries herself very well.
yeah. So I named the person she's married to, the 44th president of the U.S. You referenced her as well. Um, President Barack Obama. My person that I liked the way she carries herself is First Lady Michelle Obama. She's very smart. She has a lot of grace, but yet she's kind and humble. She represented Black women so well in her role as First Lady. Really, she represented all women well. Her fashion style, of course, is on point, but that's not my thing. So don't know much of
Yeah.
that about that. She's clean, she looks good. Those are my standards. I love her because she set an example of health for the community, telling us all to eat better and to exercise and to take better care of ourselves. And she has the right mix to me of being a strong, intelligent woman, but also knows how to show her love and support for her husband in a way that honors his strength and her strength. They are a team, they conduct themselves like that. And when a woman figures out how to walk that type of walk, to be strong, but also be soft with her husband, her man, nothing can stop her. And Michelle Obama, she has taught a master's class in how to do that. So I just admire the way she carries herself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing, Lou. I can tell you right now, I'm receiving a failing grade on this exercise.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Thank you for carrying me, my
Not,
friend. That's amazing.
no.
Yeah.
I thought well, you know what? You and I have a rule. We don't talk about this before the show. So we can be fresh. We'll have to revisit that rule. So it's all good. It's all good. Okay.
It's
All right,
all
Teresa,
good. Okay.
you got it. It's an hour show. Just let that be your guide from now on. Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay, okay, okay. So, name one of your favorite female celebrities or your favorite female historical figure.
Okay. I named a celebrity and I named a historical
Look at
figure.
you. See, you one
Yeah,
of those
and let me
overachievers.
tell you what I did because the celebrity I named, I did not want the folks coming after me because she's white. And I don't want people saying she could have named it. Yes, I could have, but Teresa asked me the question, so I chose the celebrity I wanted to name, and that is Meryl Streep.
Oh yeah,
I
I
tell
like
you,
her.
we celebrate all women here, black,
Yeah.
white, brown, young, old, all ethnicities. So if somebody's got it twisted that we can only cite black women, that's their issue, it's not ours. So that's them. Anyway, I'm going back to Meryl Streep. I've always been such a big fan of hers.
I like her too.
Her acting is just, I mean, it's just amazing how she draws you in, and before you know it, you feel like you're there, like you're part of this story as it's unfolding. So I loved her in so many movies, but The Deer Hunter, The Devil Wears Prada, I love that. Out of Africa, The Bridges of Madison County with Clint Eastwood. I'm telling you, I love her acting style, and I gained even more respect for her when former President Trump came after her, and her response to him was just delivered in such a classy way. But the way that she responded was just, it was civil, but it was profound. So,
What did he say
yes,
about her? I didn't know about that.
well, he was talking about her, basically saying something like, she was not important, or, you know,
Oh, something stupid.
yeah, yeah. And he was just not a fan because she was challenging him and the way things were. And her response was not mean-spirited, but she said what she needed to say in a respectful manner, in a manner that everybody knew, yeah, she's right. So again, I'm a fan of Meryl Streep. That's not to discount anybody else. So don't send me any nasty emails because, quite frankly, I'm not interested. So there you go. And do you want me to do my historical figure, or you
Yeah,
want to do?
please. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Go ahead.
Now I chose a historical figure. My person is alive. I didn't know whether they had to be dead, but they said making history, and so she's making waves and making history. Michelle Alexander is an American writer and civil rights activist. She's best known for her 2010 book, The New Jim Crow: Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness. She talks about something that we know to be absolutely true, and that is that Black people are put in prison at a higher rate than other races. And she talks about the impact of a felony conviction on people getting out of prison for the rest of their lives, and how they're impacted by not being able to get a job, not to be able to attain stable housing. And so it's no wonder that they end up back in prison. So I tell you, she just did a masterful job. So she is making history and making a difference.
Yeah, so I thought of the traditional when I thought about the historical figures, I thought about all of the ones that we know about,
Yeah, yeah,
Shirley Chisholm, Maya
yeah,
Angelou,
yeah,
Angela Davis, Sojourner Truth, all of them, Madam C.J. Walker,
yeah,
Rosa Parks. The list goes
yeah,
on and on and
yeah,
on. But I decided to feature a celebrity,
yeah. Okay.
and one that was in the news recently because I didn't watch the Oscars, but apparently people felt that Angela Bassett's response to her not winning was a snub of the
Yeah.
woman who won, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And who knows, because we're not in her, we don't know
I
what was
love
going
her
on with her.
too.
So
Yeah.
we cannot say. But I chose Angela because she I felt I was excited about that one Oscar award because I was so certain that she was going to win it, and it was
Really?
because of her performance in Wakanda as the queen, and it
Hmm.
was just empowering. I don't. Did you see it,
Yeah.
Lil?
Yeah. Wakanda?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
we
It
didn't
was
talk about it, so
magical.
I didn't know if you've
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
it. But
yeah.
yeah, so she
And
was
it's a
a
good thing I did because you asked me on the show and then we get nasty emails. But don't worry about old Lou. Go on. Yeah.
She was just phenomenal. I felt her power in that when she was in front of that what look appeared to be some kind of a congress, a group of other leaders, and how and standing ground for her country. And that performance was just amazing. And I'm just going to say this, and this might get us some letters, but I also saw the other movie, Everything All at Once,
Oh, you
and
did? I haven't
I
seen
did
that.
see that. And but Jamie, I didn't
Jamie
even
Lee Curtis.
remember that Jamie Curtis was in it. Like,
Really?
yeah, I didn't see her. I don't remember her role in the movie, and but so I was disappointed because it was her role was forgettable, where
Oh,
Angela
yeah.
Bassett's wasn't. But Angela Bassett, I did know a little bit about her. She is highly respected and talented actress, known for her dynamic and powerful performances on stage and on screen. She has been praised by both critics and audiences for her ability to bring depth and nuance to a wide range of roles, from dramatic to comedic.
Mm.
Many people, including me, admire her poise, her grace, and her strength.
No, and
Both, huh?
she's beautiful.
And she's beautiful, and she's so fit. That's the
Oh,
other
absolutely
thing that
fit.
I
Yeah.
love about
Oh,
her,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So, in addition to her acting career, she's also known for her advocacy work, particularly in the areas of health and education. Did you know that about her?
No.
I didn't either until I looked it up. She is seen as a positive role model for women and people of color, and her success has inspired many aspiring actors and
Yeah.
artists.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She is
Um,
amazing.
eh, she really should have won an Oscar for What's Love Got to Do with It.
What's
I
love got to
mean,
do with
it
it?
she was absolutely robbed of that. That was crazy.
Let
Yeah.
me tell you something. Back in the day, I just was not into movies at all, but I went on a date to see that movie.
Hmm.
And it was the first time that I went to the movies. I don't want to say it was in the hood, but it was all black people in the
Hmm. Hmm.
theater. And
Hmm.
when I tell you I had never witnessed folks talking to the screen before, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah,
was so
yeah.
exciting.
Oh
I
yeah.
enjoyed it so much, but you know what? I had to see it again so I could hear all the words.
Right,
But
right,
that
right. Yeah.
performance was amazing.
Oh my
And
god.
I
And she
think
was
that might
and
have
she
been,
was that was years ago and she was super fit then.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
even more so. But
Yeah.
I think that was my first introduction to Angela Bassett was
Yeah.
that movie.
Oh
Mhm.
my god. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is wonderful. Yeah.
She
And
is.
I watched her, was it her speech one time at the on the BET Awards when she was telling people, believe in yourself. She's an amazing speaker. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
She's
Wow.
is she Harvard, or
I
she's
think so. I think
one
she's
of those,
yeah, she's
or
Harvard,
Yale,
Juilliard, or
or
something. Yeah, I
yeah.
think
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
Yale,
Mhm.
but yeah, definitely
Yeah.
Ivy League school.
Ivy League. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So, okay. Now, Teresa, can you share one woman who has helped you weather a hard time in your life? Who is
Okay.
that, Teresa?
Okay, so there are many, because it takes a
Do they
village,
have
right?
names?
Let me tell you something. Just give me a second, okay? So it used to be, honestly, before this is going to sound pretty silly, but it's true. And this is the first thought that came to my mind. And it's my mom. And as soon as I had a child, right? And I share everything with my mom. I mean, everything. But once I had a child and I dealt with those, growing teenage years, growing up, and even now, I taper. I don't share everything with my mom because
Don't want to
I know
worry
how
her.
stressful for her it can
Yeah,
be to
yeah,
hear bad things that are going on
yeah.
with me. And so it made me becoming a mom made me realize that I just can't tell her everything. Um but like I said, it takes a village, and I right now most of my burdens I lay them on my good friend and partner Lou.
And I lay mine on you. That's what makes the magic work. That's what helps us.
So thank you so much.
And thank you, my friend. It's a safe space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I get that. You don't want to
yeah,
worry her. I yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
So
tell you, I like you. I didn't have one woman, but I just have to say my sisters and my sisters in laws, because my sister in laws are like sisters to me. And I just, if something major happens, I run right to them because I know, okay, they're gonna give me their best take on things, and they're gonna be supportive. So I've just been blessed with good sisters who are like best friends, and like I said, my brothers married amazing women who are like my sisters, and I call them sister. And
yeah,
I
Lou,
feel
and
that
I
way
think
about
that's
them.
so amazing. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah,
I really think that's
yeah.
amazing.
So I'm thankful for that. Very, very thankful. So okay, so what's the next one, Teresa?
What is the one thing that can empower women?
I looked at that. When you hear one thing, it's so much pressure to come up with one thing. But I really believe the way you become an empowered woman is being selective by who you have in your circle, who's in your ear.
Mhm.
Because if you have people in your life, in your inner circle, that are in your ear, in your space, who believe in you, that you grow into that, and it sort of takes over who you are because you believe it. And but if you're having people that are putting limits on you and telling and subtly communicating to you that you know you're not capable, or you need to defer to them, or you don't know what you're talking about, that chips away at who
Yeah.
you are. It chips away at your strengths. So I just think being empowered, not that you are dependent on someone else's opinion, but it helps when you have people saying, "Yeah, yeah, good move. Wow, that was pretty. I believe in you. Oh, you did the darn thing." That kind of support is critical, I think, to you walking in your fullness. I really do. That's just me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't I had trouble with just coming up with one thing too, but where I landed was education.
Oh yeah, that's
So
a good one.
when women are educated, uh,
Yeah,
you know, that just that we just have more access to information, opportunities. We can
yeah,
make better informed decisions about our lives. It helps us with our critical thinking, our confidence, and our self-esteem.
that's
you
true.
know
Very true.
so but I also thought what you were saying, I believe, is that we need people to see us. So I thought we need to be the other thought was we need to be seen and acknowledged
Yeah,
as such, right?
yeah, yeah.
So But
because
yeah,
she,
that was what education was my big one, but I had a sub note about being seen and acknowledged, and
yeah,
also um, just when it comes to healthcare that we're treated equally, equal access to healthcare.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
those are
because
big ones.
they're huge. They're huge. So,
hmm
yeah. And okay, is this what would make the future better for women?
I think it's much of the same, right? So I said the same thing again with um, education, um, money,
Yeah,
economic empowerment. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. I said basically the same thing. Just making sure that we have equality, that pay, promotions, abilities, all of that.
yep,
Develop programs to include, develop programs to encourage inclusion in different types of careers and spaces. But I think that's essential. But one of the things I thought about when we talked about that governor's race in your home state in Georgia and Stacey Abrams and how the numbers split. If we would stop fighting amongst ourselves, if we would realize that we're stronger together, we would do much to move the ball forward in terms of women's rights. You and I talked about Roe versus Wade, and I saw something pop up on the screen before we started the show where South Carolina is thinking about having the giving life sentences for anyone getting an abortion. I didn't really read it, but my point is that we just see more and more of us losing our ability to have control over our lives. And if we continue to focus on separate issues rather than saying, okay, can we find common ground? We would be much more effective. So yeah, because that I don't know if you saw the numbers from that race and how they played out in the Georgia race, but yeah, the numbers showed that I think the largest voting bloc that actually turned the race was white females in Georgia, and there was a lot
what
of
did they say? What why? I mean, did they
well,
say?
because I think what I heard a lot of the commentators talking, a lot of the news folks talking about was just, you can say one thing publicly, but when you go in that booth, people had a hard time voting for a black woman,
Oh,
even with all her credentials. Certainly,
oh
she was
my goodness!
qualified.
But they could vote for that Herschel Walker.
Yeah. So, people just had a hard time.
hmm
And that's what I mean when we get to the point where we're so divided, we can't make good decisions because we're intent on, I have to have it my way, even if it's, I want you to lose I mean, it's your losing is much more important to me than me actually doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
And
gosh,
and
Lou,
I
that's a
think,
mouthful right
yeah,
there.
I think that's what happened in Georgia in that race, and people just having a hard time with it. Even we're seeing some of that now with them talking about Biden getting ready to run, and will Kamala, the vice president, be his running mate? And people are saying having a challenge with that. So I think it's all of that. So my point is, if we would stop fighting amongst ourselves and look at
Right,
the larger picture. So, yeah,
right, yeah.
yeah. So,
All righty. What is next?
okay. Current events. So that was you didn't have any. Did you have something on? Well, let me tell you. Did you see Chris Rock's special
I
outrage?
did.
Okay, selective outrage. That I tell you. that was something, you know.
Something good or
Um,
something bad? What's your opinion?
well, I'm gonna tell you. First of all, I'm gonna roll the tape back. When that incident happened, when that happened, when Will Smith, not an incident, when Will Smith slapped him at the Oscars, I told you I was in the middle of reading his biography, Will Smith's biography, which I was thoroughly enjoying it. And when that happened, I was done. I mean, I
Right.
was done because I was so afraid that we were going to have two black men on a national stage rolling around fighting. You know, that was my fear. And I'm so thankful that Chris Rock kept his composure. Um, and that didn't happen. So the in terms of his special, I thought he did a masterful job, but it was a little rough for him to call Will Smith the B word so much, and I thought it was a lot for him. You know, his attack on Jada to call her that as well might have went a bit too far, but um, considering what he has been through and suffered, I thought he did a masterful job with that special. So,
Yeah,
what did you think?
I enjoyed it. I think he could have done less of the B word and still been as effective. I think he could have used less of the N word and
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
also have been just
yeah,
as
yeah.
effective.
That was a
But,
lot.
it's that's what they do. It's comedy, right? And I
Yeah.
also thought I mean, his jokes were funny.
They were hilarious to me. And
They
I'm
were
gonna tell
funny.
you, he was on point the way he dissected all of that. You know,
Yeah,
the bit that he did, like who's been interviewed by, I was like, whoa, that's very true. So
yeah.
I thought that was a good special. And I
It
love the title, Selective Outrage. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah,
So
that was. But I've since spoken to quite a few people about it, and most recently, my book club, and it was kind of split down the middle. Like some
yeah.
people felt like he needed to just let it go. Just stop talking about it for Pete's sakes. Stop
Really?
bringing it up.
Someone slaps you like that, you're a public figure, it's impacted you. I mean, really, and let it go. As a former social worker, I don't ascribe to that. Mm-mm,
Yeah.
not in any
S-
way.
So, and then
That's
I was
I don't
talking
know if
to
that's even healthy, but anyway, go on.
yeah, and then some others felt like, you know, had took issue with the fact that he got $40 million to do that episode.
I applaud him. I like the way he handled that. That he refused to talk about it until he was paid. Bravo. Yeah.
Bravo!
And
I'm
if that
saying
makes him
I
feel
would
better,
do.
yeah.
I would get up there for a little less than 40.
You think? But I mean, that was just a horrible thing. So that he endured. So I get what people are saying, let it go. But he didn't say anything all this time, and he chose his moment. He's a comedian, so I didn't take issue with that. Like I said, I did take issue, like you said, the N word that was too much, and the B word, and went in a lot on Jada. I just thought, okay, it was a lot, but yeah. But
Yeah, and I see the thing about it is, I guess we learned some backstory because he said it all started with her. You
I don't,
know,
I
it's
don't know.
still
And
all that piece of it really kind of didn't make sense to
I
me.
know it just
And it,
confused me as well. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
really? Because of that? But
yeah.
Teresa, when I tell you, I was reading his book and it was so good. It was the kind of book that I don't even want to finish. It was just that good. But after that happened, I was like, okay, I'm not reading
Did you
that, and
say
I
it
don't
was an
want to.
autobiography?
Yeah, and I said I don't want to see him in anything anytime soon, if ever. I'm just not there. I just cannot because for the community, like I said, I thought that was going to be the spectacle that we saw. Two men of their caliber and stature fighting like that. And I mean, not pretend like a movie, but I was, oh my Lord, my heart, it was just beating. I was so afraid. So,
Yeah,
you know,
and somebody said, okay, so if your mom says you're not to fight on TV, certainly she also told you not to call a woman the B word.
yeah. Well, to that I say no disrespect to mom, but mom probably hadn't been slapped like that. So, you know.
Yeah.
I
So,
told you the story. My mom, I probably got bad parenting, but when I was bullied in middle school and thought I had a comrade in my mom, and like most kids do, and run home and tell her, she was looking at me like, "Oh, you're gonna be fighting tomorrow because you better not come in here and tell me that
I
you
was
didn't do
so
anything."
shocked to hear that story.
That's the kind of bad parenting I was raised with. And that's why every response doesn't begin with mom. No, I'm just kidding. Loved her dearly. Loved her.
Yes, I know
But
you
yeah,
did.
yeah. But
So, yeah.
seriously, that's what we dealt with. But anyway,
Okay.
Teresa, the big news. Okay. For our state, we elected the first female
Oh
state
yeah.
representative,
Yeah.
Jennifer McClellan,
Yeah.
previously state congressman. McClellan was a state senator. She now holds the seat previously held by U.S. Representative Donald McKeeston. We wish Representative McClellan all the very best in her
All
role,
the best.
making history.
Woo! Yep,
Current event and making history. And
that's
she has
right.
done a wonderful job thus far in her legislative career. So I know she is going to do some great things.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
excited
That's
about that.
exciting.
Yeah, yeah. So, but Teresa, let me tell you, I saw something. I know you're going to be interested in it if you haven't seen it already. Okay. I saw recently on CNN that AI, artificial intelligence, detected breast cancer 4 years before it developed. Dr. Larry Norton, the medical director at the Lauder Breast Cancer at Sloan Kettering, said that this technology has been around since 1990s, but it has improved so much that it can catch things that a human radiologist, can't see, but it tells it, look at this more carefully. And it's called computer aided detection.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
I did not, but I know about AI and I know the
Yeah.
capabilities of AI.
Wow.
Mhm.
I thought
Mhm.
this is great stuff. And they had some images to show you on the mammogram how they could catch it. So I
Yeah.
thought this is good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so AI can be really good and it can also be really bad.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick with the good tonight. We're
Yeah.
going to not go
There you
there
go.
on the
There
bad,
you go.
okay? So I
Yeah.
have a story, we've talked a lot recently about folks and heart attacks.
Yeah. A
So,
lot, Teresa.
yeah, I've recently heard of a story, well, a really good friend of mine having um issues and deciding not to ignore them and going to the hospital and catching some things ahead of time, right? So this article that I have, and somehow Lou, I cut the title off, so I
Okay.
can't remember what it was called,
Okay.
but the article is about not ignoring symptoms, and especially when it comes to the heart. So, there are 10 heart symptoms that you should never ignore,
Okay.
including nausea and chest ache and being tired upon waking. So, if you wake up in the morning and you're
Everybody.
tired, that's not a good thing,
Oh, I hadn't
right?
heard that. Okay.
Yeah. So, a recent survey found 54% of adults wouldn't guess that these symptoms were related to poor health: the nausea, the chest ache, and tired upon waking, right? A cardiologist in a hospital in North London listed other signs that could indicate your heart is in less than tip top condition, including heaviness in the arm upon exertion, shortness of breath walking upstairs, and frequent extra and missed heartbeats. So, with that one, I was like, how do you know that
Yeah.
you're missing a heartbeat?
Heartbeat. Right.
Like, how do
Yeah.
you know? Right? So, because one thing I've been trying to pay close attention is my number of heartbeat beats per minute.
Are you
And what,
using your Fitbit for that?
mhm.
I've got to start wearing my Fitbit at some
Yeah,
point. I
and you and
only
I
put
have
it
the
on when
same
I go
one.
to the gym.
Yes,
You
that
wear
would be a
yours
good
all
time
the
to
time.
use it.
But I'm saying you wear yours more than that.
Oh yeah, because the statistics and the data, although I'm super concerned about the fact that my data is being collected in the manner that it is every second
But you
that
keep
I'm
yours
wearing it.
on
But
all day.
I keep it on all day
See,
and I
I do
sleep with
that.
it at night.
I got to start doing
I
that.
take it off. Recently, I've only taken it off one night, and that's Friday night into Saturday.
I just wear it at the gym.
Otherwise, I wear it because I it has helped me to sleep better and to sleep more, because it tells you how many hours you're sleeping. It keeps track of how many hours you sleep at night and how much time you
Yeah.
spend in each of the sleep cycles,
Right. Right.
right? And and then you make adjustments according to where you're bad or good, right? So it has helped me to have better sleep at night. And so I like it for that. And like I said, when I feel myself, literally I can be talking to somebody who stresses me out, whom I shall
And you can see
leave
it.
nameless, and my beats per minute, I can look at it and see that my stress level is going up. So you
Yeah.
immediately start to breathe deep and just calm yourself and say, this too shall pass. And it immediately I can see that it's lowering. And the other thing I notice, I work from home every other week. I'm in a hybrid situation. My resting rate is is higher in the week that I work from the office. It's lower the week that I work, and that's consistent because I've been now tracking this for a few months, several since November I think of last year, and that is very clear that
That's stress.
my resting heart rate is lower from home and higher. And that's because of the hustle and bustle of getting ready and going into the
Yeah.
office
Yeah.
and just rushing to get everything, trying to get
Yeah.
everything done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm more consistent with my exercise and sleep on the week that I work from home. So it's important.
Mhm.
It's
Okay. Well,
important. So
yeah.
yeah, you should charge it up and
Yeah.
start using it. And I told you that there have been reports from the Apple Watch. Um, People have noticed things about their heart and gone to the hospital,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it
I've
has
heard of
saved
that.
their
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah. I've heard of
So
that.
yeah, it's
Good stuff.
the Fitbit doesn't have that kind of
Yeah.
capability. The iWatch
Has
or
that.
whatever it's called, Apple
Yeah.
iWatch, whatever it's called, it has more features than does I the Fitbit.
Fitbit. Yeah.
But
Right.
anyway, I want to get to some of these. There's a list of symptoms. I'm just going to go down to the bottom. 10 heart health symptoms that you should never ever ignore. Dizziness on standing up quickly. You know how many times has that happened, right? Like I've had that happen to me,
Right.
but who
Right.
knew? Shortness of breath, difficulty bending down, palpitations, tightness of the chest, arm pain, often on the left, difficulty standing up, chest discomfort, excluding tightness. So just uncomfortable chest,
Right. Right.
swollen legs,
Yeah.
frequent extra and skipped heartbeats.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the next current event I have is let's see, good news. Good news
Yeah, we're
again.
on to good news
This is
now.
good news. The men's swimming, did you hear about this? And dive team at Howard University won the 2023 Northeast Conference Championship.
Yep,
This was
yep, yep.
Howard's first title in more than 30 years.
Yep.
So,
34
Teresa,
years. You know how I know? Because that's my story too.
oh, is it really? So, Teresa, I thought this would be a great time for me to sort of plug a recent blog. Okay,
Okay.
swimming is a predominantly white sport. And I wrote a blog recently about the benefits of swimming, where I talk
Hmm.
about the origins of our fear of swimming in our community. So I'm going to share just a bit of an excerpt from that. Okay. And folks, you
Okay.
can find the full blog at www.earringsoff.com. Um, Although most early slaves in America did learn to swim, slave owners soon began to gradually recognize swimming as a means of escape for slaves, as it was extremely hard to track a slave who escaped by water, and the runaway left no trail. In addition, slave owners began to view their slaves swimming as dangerous because it could result in loss of property due to drowning. Therefore, slave owners began to force slaves to stop swimming through a variety of tactics. For example, some slave owners told stories of sea creatures and monsters to scare the slaves. All of these factors over the years culminated into a fear of water amongst the black community in America. It also
Hmm.
began the stereotype that blacks simply don't swim, eventually changing black culture. After a few generations, fewer and fewer slaves learned to swim, and more slaves became afraid of the water. And that quote was taken from TeamUnified.com. According to a 2017 study commissioned by the USA Swimming Foundation and done by researchers at the University of Memphis, 64% of black children in the United States can't swim, and they are almost 6 times more likely to drown in a swimming pool than white children. I said in that blog that I believe that we can do better. Howard has shown that we absolutely can by not only swimming, but excelling at swimming and diving. Bravo! Our congratulations to the swim and dive team at Howard University. And that's some
Bravo.
good stuff. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
good stuff. So,
The coach was also quoted as saying, "Don't count the laps, make the laps count."
wow, really, really,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I
And the news
love
story
that.
that I read.
I
Hmm.
love that. So
I love
good.
that too. And it was
Very.
just, it's just so good to see that,
Oh,
you know?
absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm.
So, and that's another case of, not believing what you can't do. We can do it. So
We can do it.
good
We
stuff.
can do it.
Yeah, yeah. So, Teresa, you got anything else for today? Any news? Anything going on?
Well, that was the good news that I was going to share, and I thought I was going to be doing something because I know how much you love to swim, and I just should have
No,
known you had
listen.
that
Don't
story.
don't try to make the people think I can swim. I only started back swimming a few months ago, but
You're
I
doing
started back.
that though.
Yeah, but I told you I started because the last time I got in the water before that, I was fearful of the deep end, and I said, no, 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 not having that. I'm not doing that. So I forced myself to swim
Why
so that
are
I
you
can.
minimizing it? You swim
Well,
every week.
I swim 2 days a week, every week. And, and it's just because, well, it's good for you, but it is. It's so relaxing. So
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. And so, yeah. But, Teresa, our next show is Saturday, March 25th at 9 a.m. Folks, Teresa thought it was 8. It's not. She doesn't even know the time of our own show. It's a 30-minute show. So please plan to join us on Saturday, March 25th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And our next regular show is Tuesday, April 11th at 8 p.m.
Yes, and we are working on a guest, and you will hear more about that. But we are excited about that. And again, we also do a weekly blog, which is published on our website every Tuesday. So I read a bit of an excerpt of one that I did recently. Teresa writes some wonderful blogs. Usually hers are about health, full with great information. So check out our blogs at earringsoff.com. Don't sleep on them. They are a quick read and they cover a lot of great topics to make sure we keep you informed so that you're armed with information to make the best decisions to improve your quality of life.
Yeah, absolutely. And we invite you to share your thoughts on tonight's episode. Send us a quick email. We would love to hear from you to earringsoff@gmail.com.
And also, folks, please, if you would, don't forget to subscribe to Earrings Off. And we'd like you to to rate us on Apple, to go on and review us. We appreciate that as we are doing our best to get the word out about Earrings Off. So, again, thank you so very much for joining us. Have a good evening.
And stay safe and take good care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.